Welcome to this recording of the kata introducing redirects in Chorus. Why should we care about redirects? Redirects can treat a new class of queries that need improvement. Queries that shouldn't really result in product listings, but rather dedicated pages. For example, users searching for very broad terms. This can be category names like computers or headphones. Or searching for brand names. We don't want to have a product listing there, but rather manually curated landing pages with the products that, for example, are the most popular ones for these queries. Other examples can be searching for content rather than products. Some users may be in our return policy or our shipping information. Terms and conditions. Maybe we have a company blog that users are also interested in. So the goal behind these queries is rather a content page that can be internal, like return policy, shipping information, or the terms and conditions page, or it can be external when we host our blog on a subdomain or a separate domain, maybe for search engine optimization reasons. When looking at these examples and also the goals, the structure of a redirect rule is implicitly already given. We already have an input that we want to match, and then we have a goal where we want this query to be directed to. So one example can be searching for returns and then landing on the page for the returns policy with a, in this case, full URL. We don't need any expensive marketing tooling for that. We can use Chorus and the rule engine Quirky that's already integrated in there and the search management UI. Switching to our Chorus Electronics online store, we can now search for returns and already choose our pre-live environment because that's the one where we want to test our specific redirect rules for. Hitting search, we're seeing a lot of results, but they are basically irrelevant. So we don't want any service bundles or advantages for any given products. We want to know what's the return policy. So to deal with that, we can now use a quirky rule. So we switch over to the search management UI and now we create a new item for our input returns. We select rule management and then we add a new rule, a redirect rule. In this case, we want to direct the user to a specific page, and this is an internal page, so we don't need the fully qualified URL here, but just a redirect to this internal page. We save the rules and we push this config to Solr. So now we have everything already live, but live in our preview environment. So switching back to Chorus and rerunning the search. So we see we are already directed to the correct page with this redirect rule. Another example can now be redirecting to an external site. So we can say someone searches for OSC blog. We want a redirect rule redirecting to the open source connections blog page that's already given here. Again, saving the search rules just to make sure that this is now not already online we can return to our user interface, search for OSC blog, and we get 0 results. So now pushing this configuration to Solr, we're getting a success message down there, rerunning the search, and we're being redirected to our blog page hosted at our company website. So not only internal redirects are supported, but also external redirects. Now looking under the hood, we can actually explore how the response given from Solr for a given query looks like. Opening a new tab for that, and I'm actually just issuing a very similar search to what is sent to Solr by the front end that we just explored. So what we are looking for is, in this query, returns. We're using the Quirky query parser, and we're actually using the common rules rewriter defined that has all of our redirect rules specified in the background. And what Solr now gives us in return, pun intended, is the redirect that actually matched this query. So in addition to the regular response that we're seeing, we are getting the redirect information. And now it's up to the web application to actually use this redirect information and, for example, now guide the user to exactly this page. So the redirect action itself is nothing done by Solr, by Quirky, or by the Search Management UI, but rather by the web application reacting to this information given by Solr. So that's how everything works. The technical details of how this can be implemented can be found in our Chorus GitHub repository. The textual version of this kata has you covered with all the relevant details. Now, wrapping up, what we've seen is why are redirects important, how are redirects structured, how can redirects be used in Chorus with Quirky and Smooey. Now there are a couple of pitfalls and best practices that you can follow. Number one, redirecting to deleted pages should be prevented at all costs. So just keep an eye on your redirect rules and regularly check them so that the goals that you have defined are not actually pointing towards deleted or removed pages, because your users landing on 404 pages, page not found, that's actually bad user experience. Next, don't define your inputs too strict or too flexible. So maybe you want to match return, returns, return policy, etc. all to one goal and not define 3, 4, or 5 rules for that, but only one, and use wildcards. In that case, you need to be careful not to prevent users from finding products like the Return of the King, the Lord of the Rings movie, or the Return of Sherlock Holmes, a book, or Returnal, a video game. So don't make that too flexible, because that matching for all of these games by searching for return would be prevented, because everyone would just be directed to the returns policy page. Next, don't make your target URLs, your goal URLs, too complex. You can put as many parameters and logic in there as you may wish, but curating these manually can be tedious if they actually get too long and too complex. It's, in theory, possible to actually chain redirects, maybe accidentally or even on purpose. So maybe your search query results in a redirect, and the redirect page again is the input of another redirect rule. Maybe that's defined by marketing or another department. That's maybe not the best user experience. That can be confusing and it can also get slow. So keep an eye on that. Last but not least, it's important to track your redirect rules. So how often were they actually used? Rules that are never used can be removed. Track your goals as you just would, like the users would manually land on these pages or manually navigate to these pages, because each goal can have, again, different success metrics, and they should not be defined by was this issued by a redirect or not. And with that, we're at the end of this walkthrough. If you want to have a look at everything that you've seen for yourselves, just clone the GitHub repository, have a look at Kata 11, the redirect one, or have a look at our blog site. And that's it for today.